Zell Boy Army, welcome to another spicy one on the channel. You have a treat in store for you today. This is a full live gameplay analysis of someone who's Gold 1 / Elite 3. So they hit a bit of both. In this video, I'm going to be going in depth through one of their games. It's going to be a full 90-minute game, and I'm going to be giving the person advice on the strengths, weaknesses, issues that they're doing, things they're doing well, and I'm going to give them feedback on where they can improve. Yes, this isn't going to be your specific game that you're watching, obviously, but it's areas that you will probably struggle with and tips and advice you'll be able to pick up from this. Think, oh, I do that in my game, and try take it to yours. So I think it can be very beneficial for a lot of people. So get the pen and notebook out, or just notes on your phone or something like that, and get ready. Let's go. Here we go. So he's showing us his tactics. 4-2-3-1 ultra defensive, 4-4-2 long ball. I don't personally like the long ball thing as much. That a lot of people, I prefer balance as an overall thing. I do think long ball has its use of getting out the press, but I think it limits the attack a bit. So personally, I recommend balance, but I can see the benefits of long ball. Let's have a quick look at his team, actually. I don't think Blanc's the best, but maybe he's got Blanc untradeable. Maradona's going to hold you back a bit just with a 3-star weak foot. I like balance, just simply put. It is balance. Okay, in that team, I'd straight away look at that Cannavaro as a bit of a liability. Veron's not the best. Messi's a bit weak. Like, it's a decent team, but it's not a great team you're playing against. But balance just offers literally a good balance of everything, in my opinion. Whereas long ball, it's a bit one-dimensional, force you forward. It's not as bad as fast build-up for that, but yeah, let's get into it. So the opponent in the black kit, Gareth, thank you to Gareth for providing this gameplay for us, is in the red and white. Apologies if it's a bit fuzzy, the gameplay. The best YouTube's letting me play it in 720p. Can't put it in 1080. Okay, good switching here. Don't think he needed to pull his right back out there. People tend to get a bit panicky, a bit like itchy, like, oh, pull my defender out. Probably could have just kept controlling the midfield, but good switch to Blanc. Blanc and players like that are very good at the big body types, and when they've sat deep, it's just on this game, through balls and pace are so strong, they just can be a bit of a liability at times. Okay, needless ball roll. Ball rolls are great for protecting the ball, but what's the ball roll really doing there? There, turn that way, pass to him, have a bit more space. This is what I'm on about with long ball. Look at this is what I'm saying with long ball. This is his default tactic. His midfielders, the best forward pass that he's got is that far. That is a hard pass to make. Long ball, his team are just right up. Yes, it's good for counterattacks, but I don't want someone to be one-dimensional and force everything forward. This is why I don't like long ball, literally because of this. Just look at the radar. Simply put, look at the radar and see where his team are. It's hard to keep the ball, control the game. I don't want people to time waste. Possession's awful on this game as a tactic. But long ball there has meant he's got no options. Instantly, I said that before we even got into the game, and that's a prime example of why. The best players control the game. If you watch me play live, a lot of the time, I will just be going straight forward and just gung-ho attack. But when I'm playing someone that I know is good and it's going to be a difficult game, I'll slow it down, I'll control the game, I'll go backwards a bit more, build up properly. The average player is probably like gold 3. If you're gold 3 or above, you're very good at this game. Most people don't realise that. But the average player, honestly, just tends to go forward a lot. And you're also not going to be able to just batter people by going gung-ho if you're a gold 3 player. So you're going to need to control games better. And so many weekend league games are decided by bullshit moments, end-to-end stuff. Whereas if you control the game a bit better, control the tempo, slow it down, you're going to get much more consistent results. Good through ball. Nice ball roll scoop, I like that. First time fake, stuff like that's good. Pretty nice roulette. Great goal. Liked that. Didn't overdo the tricks, used them properly. That was good. Yeah, I just think the long ball kind of overrides. By the way, you can learn from your opponent's mistakes. His opponent was a dosser here. Don't force the ball forward from kickoff. Even if this gets to his attacker, he's got 2v about, how many is that? 3, 4, 5, 6 players plus these two midfielders. Don't force the ball forward from kickoff. Slow it down and let your attackers get forward. Kickoff, you have a lot more chance of scoring, in my opinion, from kickoff. You just get that kickoff boost. Nice ball roll. Through ball. Is he offside? It was unlucky. It was worth going for, in my opinion. Sometimes you have to risk it just in case. Good defending. Got unlucky. Not sure what his opponent's doing again there. Solid. Look again. Barely any options. The long ball's just screwing him over in the attack. He's max getting one option, and his opponent in these positions could easily cut it off. Bit risky, that. I wouldn't do so many first-time passes. Like, these are passes he could take a touch. Yes, he hasn't lost the ball, but when you do these first-time passes, it just adds more error. I only think first-time pass is worth it if the risk is worth the reward you'll get. Here, pass to a player who's basically next to him. Don't pass to players who are right next to you. What is it achieving? And all it does is mean you're going to have to take that first touch and probably get tackled. Should have gone to someone else in more space there. There, don't need to get you to defender. Let your defender stay in place. Switch your midfielder. Get him into this danger zone. If they're doing a run behind, then you switch to your defender to cover the through ball. But don't. The reason I say this as well is because so many people pull their defenders out of position, and when they do this, it leads to stupid goals. Here, switch to your midfielder now. You don't need to do any more with Blanc. Switch to this guy. Okay, poor by your opponent, but you could have done the same with your midfielder. I do it myself. Like, when I switch to defender, sometimes I just pull them out of position. Because I see a danger area that I want to mark. I go and mark it, but then they're not where they should be. This is what I'm on about the first time pass. It's like I'm a prophet today, jeez. First time pass. There is no need to give the ball away here. This is just lazy play. Take a touch. Let Cruyff get there. If not, see where this guy who is controlling, if he goes there. Take time. He's not going to run at you straight away. If he does, just pass there. First time pass. It is a bad pass. Very sloppy. Does not need to give the ball away like that. It's these small margins that can often change games. That one time you lose the ball when you don't need to can cost you a game. Maybe he was sprinting there if he was. Shouldn't be. Good pass down the line. Good play again. Kind of does the trick into him here. In this position, if someone's a few yards away from you, you don't want to do the trick. Because when you're a few yards away, basically the best time to do tricks are when someone's not right on top of you, so they're just going to get the ball. Maybe if they're like there and you're there, you can burst past them. But if they're a few yards away, it gives them time to see the animation and follow it. This is also something you can apply to when you're defending. If someone's doing a lot of tricks, stand off enough that they can't just burst past you, but don't stand off so much you give them too much space. And then when you see the animation for the trick, as you move up the higher levels, you'll start to be able to spot animations for scoop turns, bridges, lacroquets. You can follow the trick. He just lets the opponent get too tight because he does a needless trick there. Good defending. Got his team in position. There, you've pulled Adama up. Didn't need to do that. There, Adama, you're not going to get the ball. It's risky. You should be going there. Get Adama back to stop this stuff. You've dove in and got pulled out of position so far. Okay, here, I would be closing him down a bit. You can mark this pass there as well as the pass there by pulling him there and standing your ground. Bit late. End up conceding because of it. Here, you could have been there and holding jockey and cut off that pass, but you took too long to get there, and by then it's too late. It's my wife texting me. Okay, I like it. It's not forced the kick off, but again, look, he's got no options. Long ball needs to go. This ain't working. It's putting him in bad positions where he's forcing himself. Long ball for me just forces you into this one-dimensional get it forward every time, which just don't work there. Right stick touch, shouldn't have done it. Just take a normal touch there. Good defending. First time pass. There at the back, you can see you've got all this space there. Take a touch, compose yourself, play out the back. I encourage playing out the back, not just lumping it forward, because it's a 12-minute game ultimately. Bit longer with the extra bits that can happen, but ultimately, if you give the ball away cheaply a lot against a good player, you'll be punished. Again, force the trick. He should have lost the ball there. Force the pass. Good recovery, marked the through ball. Could have maybe switched a bit quicker, but I'm going to assume he was trying to play it to, is it best? I mean, there, you should have been, I don't think you were actually, because that pass is obviously on. You did a one, your pass was like 1 and a bit bars of power here. It should be like a 3-bar through ball that way. If you're getting players to make runs, you need to watch for them. That should have been in on goal there. That was a real, it was Maradona or Jones actually, but yeah, you need to play that through ball. Keeping an eye on your players' runs and where they're going is important. If it was supposed, Gareth in the chat said it was supposed to go middle. It should have been a lot more power than 1 bar. It was only just over 1 bar of power. Should be like 3 bars minimum. Good cancel there. Again, needless trick. You've lost the ball. First time pass, lost the ball. When you do these first time passes, what it does, makes the passes generally weaker, but you're also forcing the play and rushing it. What I would say is, it is good to have a plan of how you want the attack to go, but you can't just stick religiously to that plan and not react to what you see. It should be a balance of reacting to what the opponent does, look at who the opponent's controlling with the cursor, react to what he does, and then also knowing what you want to do. So generally, I always say to people, have a few ways you know how to score. I will generally dick about with the ball here, and then when I've driven pass into my striker, I'll pass it there and look to bridge it. If they're marking the bridge, I'll turn and finesse it. I have this plan in mind. But if they give me something else and mark it, I'll do something else. Whereas Gareth here, quite a lot of the time, is just forcing the ball, and it's like he's already planned it. His opponent's done the same. He's giving the ball away cheaply and not allowing him to have tempo again. There, again, forced it. Keeps doing this, and he's giving the ball away very cheaply. It's 1-1, but Gareth's had the ball in good positions a lot of times and just keeps giving it away cheap. Honestly, as well, they're like, this skill cancel, I wouldn't even bother doing it, because when you overcomplicate things like that, all it has to do is once in a game, the input's not register, and you could lose the ball in a position you just don't need to, unless it is literally just practicing. Very nice fake. This was really good here. The Lacroqueta, just enough time to make the opponent bait, dive in, through ball to Cruyff, and then that was probably the best trick he could have done. Because if he'd have tried to first time ball roll, they're temperamental, but the fake shot at that angle does work well. Very nice goal. Used the run better that time, and used a mix of tricks. Tricks are good. You just shouldn't be overdoing them, is what I would say. Again, opponents forced it from kickoff. Not sure about that trick, but alright. This is like an Elite 3 Gold 1 player. Here, there, I would turn that way and pass to there. You've got 2 men near that guy and defenders there, and they're pulled out. I'd have turned and done a driven pass in there. That was nice. I mean, the defending there is pretty shocking. You end up scoring. But there, I would have ball rolled, because if you ball roll, there's no way he can get you at that angle. A ball roll would have been better. And then there, honestly, take a touch. If he goes there to mark there, shoot near post. If he goes here, pass there. You shouldn't have shot though, because it's always going to get blocked. It didn't get blocked, actually got saved. But you get lucky, but you could have guaranteed that goal. It's the pass accuracy. 91% decent, but with the amount of passes we're giving away, this easily could have been a 95% passing game. Go backwards. I mean, I wouldn't dick about with it in the midfield there where there's more players to congest it. I'd keep the ball. Bit of a risky pass. Needless tricks again. Good cancel there. Dead stop. I mean, pretty crazy play to there. That was really good. I like the pass across and the timing. Honestly, I think you've missed that because you've done the flare shot. It should go in regardless with Johan Cruyff, let's be real. But I think if you do a normal shot, it goes in. And at 3-1, you shouldn't be doing a flare shot. There's no need to do a flare shot there. In a game that's not dead and buried yet. It should go in anyway. But like I say, if you don't do a flare shot, I think that's 99% a goal with a flare shot. It might be a 7 out of 10. Okay, don't pull your defender out. You should have kept controlling him, getting him in position. Here, you could have switched to him straight away to cover her. You're pulling your defenders out, not using your midfield. Good switch there. But you're not getting your midfield back enough. Forced it forward, should have slowed down. At this point, when you're 2 goals up against someone who, yes, she's playing better than, but it's not a dominant performance. Slow it down, control the game. If it was an auto flare shot, which I don't think it was, then you shouldn't have auto. You shouldn't have auto. You should have the flare auto flare thing turned off. Nice touch. You're just trying to overcomplicate things here. There, in my opinion, do the dead stop fake, and then whichever way you think he's going to go the other way. But here, you're just overcomplicating it. Like you're trying to. It's almost like you're trying to score the perfect goal, like it's a flare compilation on FIFA or something. Or I don't know, but some of these you just make it way harder than it should be. I thought he was off. When he's gone back there, get your midfielder back. I'll preach it religiously. Get your midfield back constantly because it stops so much more bullshit happening. You've pulled Blanc out now. He's out of position. Nearly conceded there, and that all came from Blanc being slightly out of position. Especially with players like Blanc, you can't pull them out of position as much because their recovery time's not as good as a fullback on this game. There, turn, and then look to do a double tap to Cruyff. He's pulled him out there. You could have gone and just done the double tap there, but you're too busy dicking about with tricks. And then you force it later. The tricks are good, but you should be more looking for good movement in the box. There again, force the trick. When your players are making good runs in the box, pass to them. You don't need to beat a man 5 times before you score. That's not a rule. It's not a mode where if you haven't done 17 skill moves, you don't get the goal. Again, pulled the defender out. Adama should be there. You've pulled him out. And when that happens, other players have to cover. And then you get caught out. If anyone's watching this, by the way, I'm not discouraging tricks. I said on one of the goals, great use of tricks. The game should be fun. And using tricks well can be fun. But ultimately, Gareth, who sent this video in, wants to improve. And this type of content, gameplay analysis, is about helping people improve. I don't want to bore the game. I don't want to make someone not enjoy the game or not have fun. But most people also have fun winning. But it's balancing. Everything's about balance on this game. Becoming consistent. Tricks are good. And Gareth scored a really nice goal with the tricks. But you want to balance it. And right now, I can imagine Gareth loses games where he loses the ball against good players who defend the tricks well. And then he ends up losing a tight game because he's just given the ball away too many times. Good defending. Big right stick touch. You should do a big right stick touch here. When you've beat the man, there, he's got a lot of pace. Just right stick touches. Get further down the pitch. You don't need to cut back inside, in my opinion, there. Use the width. Okay, that trick's awful this year. There. Do a dead stop fake. Dead stop fake or a ball roll scoop. But don't do a fake running fake shot like that. They patched them earlier this year and they're awful now. They're really bad. Good switch. Bit risky. Pretty good play, that. Great save, to be fair. You did 2 bars of power. From there, shoot with 3 bars of power. If Cruyff has one issue, it's his shot power. In general, though, even if that was moments R9, I'd have said use 3 bars of power. Messing about on the ball, don't need to do the tricks. There. Turn that way and just pass it into his feet. You need to be looking all the time. You need to be looking all the time where these guys are. Getting them to the edge of the box. If the pass opens up in the space, play it. Here, don't pull your defender out. Get him and get him back. Stop pulling Blanc out. Get this guy. You've pulled your defender out and it's left a gap. It's all right there because he's got one attacker. But I'm not gonna give you credit for it and say that you've done that just because there's one attacker there. Because you've done it when it's not happened as well. That was good. Nice directional nutmeg. Okay. Just force pass. Slow it down a bit. Great switch. Nice play. Ball roll scoop, is it? Yeah. Okay, here. This was nice play. There. Pretend to go like that and then just left stick. If you'd have just left stick turned there, I think he'd have gone past you. I think you could... He committed that way. If you'd have just get... There, you could have honestly just gone that way, baited him by looking like he was going that way, just left stick and then just scored. People always ask me about left stick dribbling. They say, oh, you look pretty good at it, Zel. You score lots of goals with it. What buttons are you doing? Nothing. It's just literally just predicting the opponent's play and going the other way. Simple as that. I don't use CAD. CAD's contextual agile dribbling. I don't use RBLB. I just left stick. Here, crazy pass, but the only option this guy really had was to go there. You should have held jockey and slightly covered that. In this position, you can't let him get that pass off. And there, you should have switched and covered it a bit quicker. But you always need to look for the most dangerous thing. The most dangerous thing here is not Henry. It's not Henry running there. It's this run here. And your defenders, you should know they're not going to catch it. You don't mark it. You should have marked it. Your opponent's choked that chance, to be honest. But you've given your opponent a few chances like this. A better player punishes you if you keep doing this. Good switch. Okay, don't dive in. Switch. Switching's a bit late there. So here, you should have switched to him and instantly covered there. Switching needs to be quicker. There, you should have switched to someone to cover there. There, you shouldn't be going there. You should be going there because he's got the overlap. Everything here was just too late. It was just too late. Bit delayed. And when you do that, it just makes it too easy for the opponent. Yeah, the Henry one, yeah, you should have just given him the line because you always should be looking for the most dangerous thing. There. Again. Ball roll scoop, great. Direction nutmeg. If he's there, fine. When he's there, he's this thing where he's a few yards off you. You don't want to force it. Sertiane. I don't know how to pronounce that. I appreciate the bits, my man. I don't have alerts on when I'm doing these recordings, but I appreciate the support and the generous bits. Thank you very much. Okay, your opponent's forced that there. Okay, you still have long ball on here, I think. Definitely shouldn't if he's not pressing you like this. He should be pressing you as well. I don't know what he's doing. There. First time pass. There's 5 minutes left. Go there. Pass backwards. Control the game. At this point, I'd honestly say time waste. 5 minutes. It's a tight game. I know it's only rivals, but practice makes perfect. If you practice it here, lazy pass again. Good pass there. Take a touch. Compose yourself. Look at the options. Don't just force it. You've done that too many times. I was actually surprised at half time when your pass accuracy was 91%. Good touch. Shouldn't have forced that again. Do you actually win this? I mean, you win it, but it was a risk you really didn't need to make. Try to do the ball roll scoop. Sometimes it does that. But again, you was dicking about and didn't really need to give your opponent another chance. Your opponent's got another chance to get back in the game now. Honestly, the amount of times I've done these analysis or coaching sessions where someone like has dominated a game and should have 100% won it, but then they've conceded late on. You don't, but you've given your opponent another chance where you just shouldn't. So, to summarise what we've seen today and the points I would give Gareth to improve, start off with what we just saw at the end. Don't be an idiot and give your opponent that chance to get back into the game. Kill the game. I'm not saying time waste from the minute you go 1-0 up, but with 5 minutes left, slow it down. Slow it down at the end and don't give them these easy chances to get back into the game. You just didn't need to do that. In general, I think Gareth's game could have improved drastically just by slowing it down, not forcing things as much. The amount of times you forced the ball forward, played first time passes and did stuff like that, it hurt you a lot. You used the skills really well. You were doing tricks at times like an Elite 2, Elite 1 player. The one where you did the flare shot with Cruyff, which we said don't do flare shots like that, was a brilliant play. That would, like, if a pro had done that attack, it would have been great. That was a really good play. But the tricks, I want to see them more in moderation. Use them in the right areas. Don't force them and lose the ball in the midfield because you've just overdone them. Take long ball off so you can control the game better. Slow it down. Go backwards a bit more. Long ball is great against the press. I use long ball in my tactic to get out of the press because it gives you options to get in behind. And the best way to beat the press is to get in behind against it. But when they're just defending normally, long ball's pretty bad because it just leaves you one-dimensional and predictable. Defensively, get the midfield back a bit more. A lot of times you're switching to defenders, pulling them out, leaving gaps. Mark the most dangerous thing. There was a few times where your opponent got in because you just gave up an easy through ball or chance. Sometimes you recovered, sometimes you didn't. But in general, as I said early on in the video, a lot of that, and this is where a lot of people, the crux of their main issues comes bridging that gap from Gold 1, Gold 2 to getting Elite, especially consistently. And Elite players do this so much better. They control the game. They control the game so much better. And ultimately, they might not even be better at anything else other than just being patient and just slowing the game down. And when they slow the game down, they get more consistent results. When you have these crazy end-to-end games and you give your opponents that extra chance that maybe a player is slowing it down, controlling it more doesn't give, that can be the difference between the next rank because you lose those tight games that otherwise you could have just edged out. At the end there, where Gareth gave that last chance away, that could have easily made it 3-3, and he could have drawn a game he never should have drawn. Gareth 100% should have won that, but he gave his opponents that extra few chances that if he just gave me the control for the last 5 minutes, I would kill the game and not let my opponent have a chance back into it. Gareth didn't do that. If he can control the game more, slow it down. I'm not saying time waste, but just slow it down, make the opponent play to his tempo, balance the tricks, mark the through balls, mark the more dangerous things a bit better. No doubt he can become consistent elite. And with the tricks and how good he was at times with them, maybe even higher. Hope you enjoyed this video, boys. Appreciate you watching. As always, keep it spicy. And if you're interested in one of these, links in the description about my coaching. I also offer like one-off gameplay analysis for £15. You can message me on Twitter or Instagram about that. Have a great weekend.